Hey guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. So today, I'm gonna do, I don't know, something kind of totally different than I usually do. Some of you guys will be like, no, it really isn't different, and I think others of you that know me really well will be like, okay, this is a little bit different. He's kind of exposing some of himself. So, if you're coming to this video because you're like, oh, I just wanna know how this guy reads or why he reads, and I like Booktube, that's great, but it's a little bit of a deeper video than that for me. It's a little bit of a discussion video on what got me to be a lover of reading and a lover of books. And it's kind of been something that I have told, like, I wouldn't say half-truths, but I have told a little bit, but not gone real deep into, and I've exposed some of myself, but not all of it. And so I thought, you know, today's the day. And so I just turned the camera on, and it's actually like the third video I've made today. So I've waited till the end to do it because I was very, very nervous about making this video. I'm not really sure why. I feel very comfortable on Booktube, and you guys have been completely welcoming to me. But I thought, at the expense of maybe helping one person out there, I'm going to tell my story. So, and I've told a lot of it, but I want to be very, very honest today. So, and it really is at its core why I am a reader. So I got a letter in the mail, and I'm not gonna say who it's from, and I'm not gonna talk a lot about the contents of the letter, but I got an 11-page, I thought it was 8, but it's an 11-page, you guys can see kind of through 11-page handwritten letter, okay? From somebody that watches all of my videos, comments on all of my videos, and is very active with me with emails and things like that, and has been completely supportive of me from the very, very get-go of me starting my Booktube channel. Now, I mentioned this in a video I did earlier today, but let me just say that when I honestly started doing videos on Booktube, I really thought that I would just sit and talk about books I like. Some people would say, I think that book sucked, or you should read this, and there is a lot of that, and that is a lot of what I love on there. But when I really wanted to start a YouTube channel several years ago, I did it because as my late 30s year old gay male who had been bullied extensively growing up, had struggled with addiction, got clean and sober, had a parent that was in recovery, had dealt with grief of a death of a parent, was an only child, you know, had suffered sexual abuse when I was much younger, and had overcame that, and today lived an amazing life of where I'm extremely, extremely happy, proud of who I am, and just take every moment to really enjoy life. And I wanted to make videos to inspire somebody, but on my other channel, that never really happened. Like, I never really got comments from people where they would say, you know, like, you're inspirational, or you motivate me to do this or to do that, or thank you so much, like, I saw your video and it made me smile and whatever. And maybe that's asking for a lot, I don't know. But I'm not somebody that does it for the subscribers. I'm not somebody that does it for the views. I mean, all of that's nice, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit you guys and act like when I hit a certain amount of subscribers, it doesn't mean anything to me, because it does. I mean, it means acceptance is what it means. It means somebody out there likes me and thinks I'm okay, and that's something I've struggled with all of my life. I struggle with confidence, I struggle with self-concept, I struggle with feeling like I'm good enough. And between you and I, it's really, really easy for me to turn on the camera and get real with you guys. It's much more difficult for me to walk into a room of strangers, or even sometimes a group of friends, and be super, super honest and just be myself. I'm listening right now to Tyler Oakley's Binge, which is his memoirs kind of his life. And it's very funny, but at the same time, it's very endearing. In the introduction to the book, he talks about binging on life and binging on experiences and taking risks and living life to the fullest. And he also talks in there a lot about being heavy when he was younger, which is something that I totally relate to. If you guys watch my videos, you know I struggle with my weight. I always, always have. And I struggle now between acceptance of being okay with my body and being like, maybe I just need to be happy with who I am and wanting to be thinner and in shape because I know it's not healthy for me and because I can't fit into the clothes I want to. So I've struggled with all of these different things in my life, right? And so I was listening to that book last night and I thought, well, I'm going to do a video about this. And then it was interesting because today I got this letter in the mail. And I know this person through Booktube. They've reached out to me. They've been very honest about pieces of their life. They're just very supportive. And they went on to tell me very, very personal things about their life. And if you're out there watching the video, which I know you are, I love you dearly, and thank you so much for the letter. It was absolutely what I needed today. I was really struggling. There are days I wake up and I think I really suffer from some true depression, which as a life coach and a counselor is hard to deal with sometimes because it is what it is, you know, and I sometimes feel like that there is a heavy blanket over my head that I just can't get out of, and that was today. If you also don't know, I also am epileptic, and so I have to take large doses of medication for my epilepsy, and I haven't had a seizure in over 10 years, but the medicine makes me feel down a lot, and it makes me very, very hungry, and so I'm constantly wanting to eat, and then that adds into my sadness, and you know, it's like all these different things that are added to me where I just don't feel okay on a daily basis, and making these videos has made me really, really happy. It's made me joyous, and reading does the same thing for me. So I got this letter, and in the very beginning paragraph, she said, I've been wanting to write you for a long time, but never got around to it till today. I'm sitting on my front porch. So I thought, well, I'm going to go sit on my front porch and I'm going to read it. So I sat on the front porch, and in here she talks about being proud of me for being sober. And she talks in there about a family history of addiction that would floor anybody, and abuse and things like that. And I'm not going to say anything more about the letter because I think it needs a personal response from me, which I plan to do. And but it got me thinking about my own reading of growing up in an alcoholic home. And, you know, I had a magical childhood at times, but when you grow up in an alcoholic home or an addicted home, you never know what you're coming home to. And one constant for that with me was reading. And I have written on my personal blog tons about my mother and how wise she was and what an amazing woman she was. But she suffered from mental illness, and she also was an alcoholic. And so, you know, I would one night come home and it would be Little House on the Prairie at the TV with chili and late night stories, and the next night I would come home with her listening to headphones of Fleetwood Mac or Judy Collins and not come out of the living room all night long because she was so depressed. And so I never knew what I was coming into as an only child, and my parents were divorced and separated between when I was 6 and 8. So I was very much I am an only child and was very much an only child searching for friendships, and I never really fit in. And so for me, books became that outlet. Reading became my search for friends and family. And, you know, I could read a book and feel very much alive or safe and inside that world. And I'm sure there are many, many people out there that are relating to this right now. And, I mean, this is not a new experience. I've talked a lot in here about The Never-Ending Story, the movie. When he is reading in his hidden space in the school and he's like eating his lunch to himself, like that's much of how I lived my life, was alone, hiding, searching for safe places inside of a book. And so I love that. In fact, I was never physically abused by my parents, and my father was just awesome to me my entire life and is an amazing man and knew my mom's struggles, and so was very, even though they were divorced, was always very much there for me. And even though my mom struggled with these things, I do know that she loved me unconditionally and she loved me a lot. She did the best that she could with what she was given. And so it's interesting to me because I would hide out in places like closets and small spaces because I felt safe there, even though I was never physically abused. And I mentioned that I was sexually abused. That was when I was much, much younger, and have dealt with that issue, and now work with young people that have had sexual abuse or sexual molestations or victimizations in their lives, because I do think it's something that you can overcome as long as we don't hide from it, as long as we deal with it and face it and say this is what it is and this is what who it makes me as a person. I don't want to be a victim today. I don't want to be somebody that hides and says, well, I can't be successful because of this or because of that. I refuse to do that. And my sobriety has really given me that. My sobriety has allowed me to tell on myself, tell my truth, and hopefully help somebody else and pass it on. And in my life, the number one thing that I have done that has made me the proudest in the world is getting sober when I was 22 and a half years old. And I've been sober for 21 plus years. And am very active in Alcoholics Anonymous. And in fact, called my sponsor to say, am I allowed to talk about that on a video, or is that breaking tradition? So if it's breaking traditions and anybody out there is in AA, I apologize, but a lot of people have asked me and I've been kind of hesitant about talking about it, so because I didn't want to be that person. But if you have any questions about 12-step programs, I'd be more than willing to answer those or help you. Ask me personally, don't mention it in the comment section below because I don't want to violate your anonymity or mine, which obviously. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to say is that I never really believed that my mom would ever get better. And when I was growing up, hiding in books was my way to do that. And other worlds and places where I felt like I could connect and relate. And I can remember in high school going to counselors and they would say, you know, maybe one day your mom will overcome this. And I'd be like, my mom is never going to stop drinking. Like, you don't understand. Like, she is hardcore blackout alcoholic. My mom got sober 6 months after I did, and it didn't have anything to do with me. My uncle had had a heart attack, and she decided that if she was going to live another year or if she was going to live 60 more years, she wanted to live her life unmuted by alcohol, and she wanted to live clean and sober. And when she died, she was a month shy of having 13 years of sobriety. And that relationship that we had together was just absolutely amazing. So for all of the people and all the kids out there that send me messages and say, you talk about addiction, my mom's an alcoholic or my dad's an addict and I don't know what to do, whatever, never give up hope. Those people may change, they may get better, they may see the light, they may find religion, they may find a 12-step program. And that's why I'm so completely open to whatever anybody's experience is spiritually, as long as it's something positive, because I think that we're all open to that change of just getting better, and I want to get better. And it's so interesting to me that it took me finding Booktube to inspire somebody, and I'm so happy for that. She wrote in the end of her book, 11 pages, well, I mean, it is kind of a book, but she wrote at the end of it, she said that there are some days that seeing my video is enough just to inspire her because she has medical conditions and all these things. And I thought, God, that's crazy. Like, me just making this stupid video and uploading it is cheering somebody's day up. And I don't want you guys for one moment to think that I think that I'm so wonderful or I'm so great. But I want you guys to know that for every one of you out there that makes videos or comments or whatever, you're doing the same thing to me in return. There are days that and I know who to go to. Richard at Books and Bullshit is somebody for me that when I'm having a down day, I turn on his videos and I'm just like, hey, like, I get you, you get me. Like, I love his videos and I love that he just talks about books and he doesn't get real deep and he's so funny and, like, that's what I need. Like, I think that's what Booktube does for me. And so it's so awesome that I have come to a place where I can feel so accepted and so finally at peace with being able to talk about my weight issues with you guys and my depression and my addiction and all the recovery and everything, and let you guys know that on the other side of all of that shit, there is wonder. There absolutely is wonder and grace, okay? And all you have to do is ask for it and do the work. I really, really believe that. And so I just want to say thank you to the person that wrote me the letter. You touched me so deeply in a place emotionally and spiritually that I didn't think was possible today. And you've totally turned my life around and made me feel so thankful that I started this channel. And I'm going to continue to make these videos and I'm going to continue to try to be funny because I know that's what people like. And I'm going to continue to be real and honest and just tell my story and tell my truth because I think somebody will relate to that out there just like I relate to your videos as well. And no matter what you're making videos on, no matter what your content is that you're doing, no matter if you're just writing a comment or you have a Bookstagram channel or you're making videos about makeup or you're making cooking videos or workout videos or just talking into a camera, no matter what you're doing on YouTube, remember you're touching somebody out there, you're reaching somebody. And had I ever known that that would be what would come of this booktube channel. I would never in a million years have guessed that. And when I started this channel, I have to be really honest with you guys, I was kind of at a low place in my life. I kind of didn't really know what the next move was gonna be. And this booktube channel has totally made my life. And so I hope in some way I can inspire one person out there to realize if you're dealing with body image or addiction issues or family issues and whatever, talk about it with somebody, write it down, but don't give up because it will get better. I promise you it will get better, and it gets awesome. It gets amazing. So I love you guys, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye.